Two more presentations daripada Kazakhstan.
I think when I show the ladies of Kazakhstan, it's just like a snap, like that, just like that. Immediately fall in love. Anyway, immediately fall in love. But I'm gonna save the picture for last.
There's a wrong, what do you call it? Not what we're talking about now.
Everyone not importing.
So, because some of my friends have require a longer time to share their inputs to the audience, I think I would like to have a shorter time so that a bigger responsibility for my Japan office to share more information. But anyway, so before I go further, my name is Haikal Hanif. We have opened our Almaty office in 2015. It's a kind of new, 3 years old office. I think most of you have not been to Kazakhstan. Anybody been to Kazakhstan before? Only okay. Anybody have been with a Kazakhstan people? Okay. Only yeah. Anyway, so Kazakhstan is located right in the heart of Central Asia. There is being with the neighboring countries, Turkmen, Kyrgyz, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. So all the 5 countries. So our office is taking care of all 5 of them. So they have very strong relationship with China and Russia. So it's a huge country. Oh, sorry. Okay. I think capital Astana Almaty. What I'm trying to tell you is that about 70% of their population are Muslim population. Kazakh in general by default it's like in Malaysia, Malay, they are Muslim, and then they have a big chunk of Russian in Kazakh as well, Russian Kazakh. The Kazakhstan country, they do not have any seaport, but they do have a dry port, which is called Korgos. The beauty part of this port is that it is owned by Kazakhstan government, but managed by Dubai port. Okay. Oh, sorry. That's a sneak peek of the ladies. I hope it has sparked some of the love in some of the guys. Not sure about the men. All right. Next, in general, I would like to show that Kazakhstan and Malaysia have a lot of similarities. We share a kind of similar GDP, for example. They are actually a rich country. They are very strong in oil and gas. They are the only difference is that in terms of VAT, the VAT is quite high on 12% as compared to us. But the products there you can buy it on a still reasonable price. In terms of similarities, the next similarities is that on the country vision we have our TN 2050, and they have their national strategy 2050, something similar to Malaysia as well. Okay, population not that big, I think just nice, but actually the country is so big, so huge. It's the 9th largest countries in the world, with a population of about 17, maybe 18 million right now. Even though they are a young country, 26 years old of independence, and on 2015 they have joined into WTO, and they are also a member of a few international organizations as well. Okay, even though they are new, they are a bit foreign to us, but you can see that Kazakhstan are actually doing good in the views of the world. In terms of doing business in 2017, they are placed at number 35. Okay, so and they are the environment, business-friendly environment. In terms of economic freedom, they are placed at number 68, if in comparison to China and Russia. And then in terms of transparency, they are ranked 25th from 140 countries. So I hope this would give some overview of a welcoming signal to some of our business delegation here about Kazakhstan. You can see that the country is this is Almaty city. From the city itself, it is being surrounded by huge mountain. So where you can have a very nice snow during winter. Even during summer, you can see on the peak they have a snow cap, and many Malaysians come to visit Kazakhstan to play ski during winter because of the facilities, high-class, world-class facilities, but at a very, very cheap price. Okay, just to share with you that Kazakhstan also receive a lot of international companies, players. They do invest in Kazakhstan from wide range of sectors. So this is to show that how accommodative the government, the system, the policy towards bringing FDI into the country. Okay, Malaysia, in terms of export, we are still a bit small in terms of numbers. Last year, it's about 337 million ringgit Malaysia, which is actually small. I think it would not be a good comparison if we were to talk again as compared to other colleagues of mine, whereby the numbers are huge, far away. Yeah, but this means it shows that there are plenty of room for us to grow. Okay, so what do we sell to Kazakhstan? Okay. Majority of the sectors that Malaysia export to Kazakhstan currently are coffee, tea, extract. We do also export a lot of palm oil, some electronic products by Samsung, and then our furniture, home furniture and office furniture are also quite well received in the market. Okay, and just to share with you what Kazakh import from the world, most of them are machinery, second metals, chemicals, transport, and most of these products are supplied by their traditional trading partners, where you can see Russia at 36% from the whole import of Kazakhstan, and followed by China. In terms of from the Asian countries, Malaysia falls number 2, followed number 2 as compared to Vietnam. You can't see here, sir. A very small Vietnam there, but Malaysia is somewhere inside there. Okay. So we need you here to make it visible. Yeah. I can point it somewhere here, but you have to come nearer. Okay. Anyway, don't worry about the numbers. Okay, some overview about halal in Kazakhstan. So I think most of you know that they are the ex-Soviet country, part of the separation, 70 years under USSR. So even though they are already 26 years independent, but the process, system, mindset are still something similar, quite strong with what they have inherited from USSR. So the country is a secular state whereby the religion and the government could not be together. They are separated into two entities. So in Kazakhstan currently there are three. Okay. Currently there are three entities that regulates the halal certification. Okay, one is Muftiat, all these what do you call it? The religious members council. Another one is Halal Damu, and then Association of Halal Industry Kazakhstan, AHIK. So AHIC is the only entity which is recognized by our JAKIM. Okay, so these three entities, they are running their process, their activities separately. So they have their own separate process, their own separate what they call it, approach on how to develop these halal industries. This happened because it is not regulated by the government. Okay, and okay, so currently because of this situation, so most of the industry players are scattered around to look for what are the best option, best reference that they can use to help them not only for the domestic market but also for international market. So I think this is where Malaysia could come in terms of products, in terms of services, to show our Kazakh friend that we have a very long history, we have a very strong achievement that we can share with them. We can help them grow in this sector. Okay, so oops. In general, the numbers of companies that are having halal certification is growing. Okay, and currently now most of the operators are having a greater awareness about the importance of halal certification, about Sharia compliance. This graph is mainly to show that this is in terms of food industry. So majority of the food segment are focusing in meat production, and also meat dairy, and also in terms of grain production, because they are among the biggest producer of wheat in the world. Okay, but although they are among the biggest in the world, you can see that this is the number of export of Kazakhstan food product to the world, only 3.3%, which is very small, and they need our expertise to help them to grow these numbers. Okay, so I've been there since 2015 April. So my observation of the market, currently I think it is too obvious that the country is highly dependent on imported goods. Majority of the local expertise are outdated. So for that reason, majority of things are being imported. Okay, and for example, okay, and then number two, the government is trying to diversify their business. They are very strong in oil and gas, but because of the current economic the slowdown in oil and gas sector, so they are badly hurt. So the government is trying to very hard to diversify the industry, and I think Malaysian companies could come in not only to sell their products but also to share services as well. Now they are talking about Industry 4.0. They're talking about business process management, how to enhance their output, and I think that is where we are strong in. And then they are, I believe, with the current situation, they have higher awareness of halal certification value, because currently they are trying to push, like I mentioned in the previous slide, the number of export is very small, food export. So they understand that with a proper halal certification logo or process, their product can be exported to the world. Okay, this is the where I think where Malaysia can comes in. Okay, all right. I am trying to make you fall in love here. Okay, why it is so good about Kazakhstan? So I think I'm trying to break into two segments. One is investment, and another one is on trade opportunities. So, so in terms of investment, for example, the government of Kazakhstan is currently now is trying very hard to bring in FDI into the country. They are opening doors for privatization project, all these PPP project. They have an organization named Samruk Khazanah, something similar to our Khazanah, whereby they list out about 500 entities, GLCs, any government-linked entities for sale, open for sale. So that is how important, how severe they would like to have help from outside in terms of knowledge sharing, investment into the country. So I think, based on my observation, these are the four sectors that Malaysia could come in. Number one is livestock. They have a huge land. The country is so huge. They have a huge grazing area and at a very low operating cost, which is a very huge advantage to us as an investor. Okay. Currently, we have Agrostan, a Malaysia entity owned by Malewa Group. They are established in Kazakhstan, in Almaty. So, actively involved in sheep farming. Okay, now if the second one is about key infrastructure. So everybody is aware about now all the big boys are talking about Obor, about Silkway. So Kazakhstan is rightly situated in the middle of the highway. So the government is trying to push very hard to develop support service to make sure that they are not left out later on in this process. Okay, and then they do not have any halal logistic hub there. So I think we can come in and share with them how we manage this potential business with them. And then last but not least, on agriculture, because again with their vast land, they are among the top producers of wheat and cotton also as well. So these are on the investment side of the opportunity. On trade matters, currently, like we saw in the statistics, these are among the sectors that I think we have a strong advantage. Beverages, currently Mac Coffee is among the top player in Kazakhstan. You can find Mac Coffee basically in any of the supermarket in Almaty, all over Kazakhstan. Mac Coffee, premix coffee, Mac Coffee, Mac Tea, yeah. Rubber-based product, we are selling all these medical gloves and furniture. And okay, but what I'm trying to push a little bit more here is on services, because why I believe we have added advantage in terms of services as compared to product. Currently, one of the limitation that Malaysian company has is the cost of logistics is a bit high, because due to our location from Malaysia to Kazakhstan, the cost of logistics is a bit high, so it makes our product a bit challenging to fight with other current suppliers. But unless as compared to services, maybe we have an additional added value advantage that we can push forward. And these sectors are highly demanded in Kazakhstan. Okay. All right. Just to show you, just now we are talking about this Obor. So in Kazakhstan, they have their own this aftermarket they call Euro-Asia Economic Union. So they are projecting that the number of business is going to increase from $800 billion to 1.2 billion in 2020. So the government of Kazakhstan is trying very hard to make sure that the country can make use of this development. Okay. Of course, this is not all not all rosy picture that I'm going to share with you. There are things that biasalah girlfriend pun ada some flaws kan. So these are your flaws, Kazakhstan flaws that you have to just to bear in mind. Nothing is what do you call it? They have some challenges as well. Okay, among others, currency devaluation. Earlier in before 2015, they pegged their currency to dollar, but then after they have unpacked, it dropped 80%. So as compared to now, yeah, about 70 to 80% drop. Okay. As usual, it's red tapes coming back to the history. With the Russian system, they have a lot of procedures. Everything has to go to central approval, so you have to be quite patient to get approval, to get appointment for meetings. So it takes longer time. High cost of doing business. I was sharing about the cost of logistic, mainly cost of logistic. They do not have a seaport. A shipment from Malaysia to Kazakhstan normally will take by train. About I met one of our colleagues here from Chanka, but in general about 21 days. From Malaysia to Almaty by train, 21 days. From Port Klang to Almaty the whole journey will take about 21 days. Okay.
Malaysia ship to port.
Yes.
Which port?
From China. Ship to China, maybe Lianyungang, then rail, to Korgos, then rail inland. Okay. Anyway, still, just try to portray the beautiful faces. You have too many front now, huh?
As long as the price is right. Okay.
Yes, you are right. As long as the price is okay, it's no issue. Okay. So language, 80% of your potential clients speaks Russian, balance are Kazakh. So you have to use a translator. The problem with translator is that maybe half of what you are saying might lost in transition. So it is best to
Marry the girls.
that is my second point actually. I think it is best. It is best to have it in writing, or it is best to have your translator on a permanent basis so that she can understand your product, your services better.
So you have to marry her.
Something like that. Okay. Tough business competition, strong competition from China, traditional market, from Russia, from Turkey. Everybody is there and trying to establish themselves. So okay, next. Just to show where your question just now, shipment going from Port Klang, Lianyungang, Almaty, or because it's a big country, another ship. Whoops.
That one is China.
China.
Yes.
Okay. Then the other side of Kazakhstan, on the west side, normally they use Bandar Abbas and then they truck in.
Truck in.
Bandar
Abbas is what, Pakistan?
No, Bandar Abbas is Iran. Iran.
Oh, Iran.
Yes. Okay. Okay, just to show that, don't worry, there are a few Malaysians already successful in Kazakhstan. Okay. Both in business.
I thought you want the shorter time.
No, okay. Sorry, sir. Just to show about, just to share with you some of the Malaysians that have made their success in Kazakhstan. Some of the big guys. Malaysian, yes, sir. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry, sir.
That was a long 5 minutes. Okay, I think there's going to be a lot of development in the market, with OBOR and whatnot. Yeah, right. So I think maybe later during the question and answer, you want to touch a bit on that as well, right? For the last presenter today, we have our Trade Commissioner from Tokyo to present his what he gauged about the market in terms of halal. So, Mr. Shah. Please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Finally. Thank you very much, Tom Director, for giving me the last speaker for today. I can see very sleepy audience. Even the speaker also sleepy right now. But again, I would like to say thank you for everybody for having your time together with us today. It's my turn, talking about the venturing into Japanese halal market. First and foremost, my name is Shah Nizam. I'm with this Market Tokyo. We have two offices in Tokyo, in Japan. One in Tokyo, and the other one in Osaka. But in Osaka, we hire one local staff to manage Osaka because Japan also is a very big country.
Olympics were Tokyo.
Yes,
Oh,
2020.
okay.
So for this presentation, I will cover 5 items. One, talking about the bilateral trade between Malaysia and also Japan. And then I'm talking about this business opportunity of halal in Japan. And then the challenges and the market entry to Japan, and also these all these activities in promoting halal in Japan. I will try to make my presentation more towards halal business. Okay. Next, now I'm talking about the Japan bilateral trade. Japan is with a population of 126 million population, the third largest economy in the world. And for Japan, Japan was Malaysia's fourth largest trading partner, and fourth largest export destination, and fourth largest import source. Meanwhile, for Japan, Malaysia was Japan's 11th largest trading partner, 13th largest export destination, and 11th largest import source. And this is our trade performance with Japan, Malaysia and Japan. For 2007, we have seen a positive growth with our export of 138.5 billion ringgit, which contributed by increase in export to Japan with 74.89 billion ringgit. And this is a positive trade performance after 2 years of a decrease for trade performance since 2014. So what we export to Japan? These are the products we export to Japan. Mainly, we export liquefied natural gas to Japan, which contributed 31.3%. This is especially when they started to relook at the nuclear power, and then they start to use liquefied natural gas instead. So we take advantage of that, and then we are one of the biggest contributors to export of LNG to Japan, and followed by electronics. We have many companies of Japan manufacturing in Malaysia, and also they export back to Japan, and also followed by these chemical products. And what we import from Japan? In 2017, we also import electronics that cover parts of electronics, integrated circuits, processors, and controllers, followed by machinery, equipment parts, and also transport equipment for 2017. We have at the moment 2 trade agreements signed with Japan. One is the Malaysia-Japan Economic Partnership Agreement, we call it MAJEPA, which is signed and implemented on 2006. And we have another one, ASEAN-Japan Comprehensive Partnership Agreement, we implemented in 2008. And at the moment, 97% of all goods traded is at 0 tariff. Now, I think we all know that we have also signed another one, CPTPP, also included Malaysia and also Japan in that partnership. So this is the collaboration that we work together in enhancing our bilateral trade, both countries. One is ASEAN-Japan Center. We also work together with Malaysia-Japan Economic Association. We also work closely with Japan External Trade Organization, Japan International Cooperation Agency, or familiar with JICA, and the Japanese Chamber of Trade Industry in Malaysia. Now talking about halal business opportunities in Japan. First and foremost, let's look at the Malaysian halal exports. They continue to rise. For 2016, we have recorded 42.2 billion ringgit. an increase of 7.1%. And this increase of export contributed by mainly by three items, which is one, food and beverages, recorded 4.48 US dollar ringgit, followed by halal ingredient and palm oil derivatives. And here, Japan is among the top 4 export destinations in 2016. And then what we export, halal exports to Japan. So for our halal exports to Japan, mainly our major export was under food and beverages, and followed by palm oil derivatives and halal ingredient. It will be very interesting why Japan is not a Muslim country. And all of a sudden, after 2 or 3 years, there's increase in demand in halal. So I think I need to explain a little bit the background of it, why all of a sudden Japan is not a Muslim country, all of a sudden they're very interested in halal. As you know, we need to look and understand what's the Japanese tourist strategy. Japan welcomes 40 million tourists by 2020. And 2017, Japan had recorded 2.8.7 million foreign visitors, an increase of 19.3%. And I also would like to share, even for Malaysia, an increase of 11.5%. They have recorded 439,500 visitors from Malaysia alone. There are many visitors from Malaysia to visit Japan. And then this actually for the tourist visit, they have put the targeted below that before. But I think for 20 million only. But when they see for 2007 they have reached to 28.7 million, they have increased the target into 40 million instead. Why Japan is putting this? As you know, Japan is a country that having challenges in decreasing in population. Yeah? So they are more senior citizens to compare to babies. Okay? And then the only way the government to encourage the growth of the economy by having these all tourists coming all over the world to Japan to encourage them to spend, because Japan itself they have already reached the peak whereby they cannot go anymore further. So the government of Japan decided to increase, and then they have put a target of 40 million tourists for 2020, and then it works. It really works. It exceeds the target. And then not only the government tried to increase by relaxing the visa. As you know, before this, for Malaysia to go to Japan is very difficult. We need to show the account and then we need to pay before going there. But now they relax our visa to go to Japan. We are now can get visa. We can go without prior all this checking of account. They give for free visit for 3 months, and then also goes with the rest of ASEAN countries. So with that, they're able to do that, and also the growth of airlines, the low-cost airlines serving to Japan, and now we have a growing middle income with higher disposable income, and also most importantly, they are taking advantage of the currency exchange rate. At the time, the yen is very weak and they can spend more in getting for their exchange spending in Japan. That's also one of the ways where the government trying to encourage their exports by having the yen depreciated. Yes. So, to understand that, now we know how all of a sudden they have received more visitors coming to Japan. And then they realize not only this is enough, they now realize they also need to prepare all these visitors. Now they have to see about all these hotel rooms, the communication, the mobile phones need to compatible with the visitors, and then you need to see where they can do the exchange money outlets, which before this we don't have many outlets. And then they also try to find all this information that needs translated into English, because everything is in Japanese. And then, and most importantly, all the information counter, they start to receive all these inquiries. Muslim requirement and also needs, which they don't have. So, and then they start to getting all this. For example, like for tourists, they come to Japan, they start to ask, where can I get this halal restaurants? Where can I get halal food? Is this umiyage or souvenirs I want to bring back, but this is halal? Where can I find this mosque nearby? You know, and then they trigger them. I mean, they need to prepare all this all together, and then that also leads to all this Muslim-friendly environment in Japan. Then now you can see in Japan they start to have the increased number of halal certified bodies in Japan, because now tourists start to go in the restaurant asking about halal food. They need to certify all the halal outlets, and many restaurants start offering halal menu, halal products and beverages selling in supermarket shelves, shopping outlets, airports, restaurants provide prayer rooms, and mobile apps, websites providing information about halal restaurants and mosques in Japan. So with this, they realize they didn't see it before. Now they all of a sudden they just, oh, I need to have halal in order for me to get all these customers. Before that, they just pass by. They see the restaurant, is it halal? No, it's not. They don't understand it's halal anymore. So they just walk and they realize they miss of this opportunity. That goes for food and beverages. This is halal business opportunity in Japan. So they started to get halal products, which can be paste, or you can ready to eat meals, all these drinks, beverages, but most importantly is Japanese food that is halal. That is the most seeked product in Japan, because all the visitors, they want to experience, they want to enjoy food, Japanese food, authentic Japanese food in Japan while they are going to Japan, but they are unable to do that because some of the products is not halal. There some includes alcohol, some animal derivatives inside, So that also leads to food ingredient business opportunity, whereby they need to substitute all this in order for them to have this product that can enjoy by Muslim. It can be from alcohol, to substitute the make sure they prevent the taste not far off. So, and then at the same time they realize it takes time sometimes to do R&D, to make sure that the taste is not far off. So the easiest way is data import from countries that already have halal logo. So that's currently they are doing. They try to import from Malaysia, they import from Thailand, they import from Philippines. And to understand halal itself, it is not only for the products, but it also meant for the whole chain, from farm to the table. How is not to cross-contaminated with non-halal. So this is why logistics is also very important. And then one of the business opportunity in Japan. And it follows also with healthcare and wellness, when they have this many tourists or Muslim countries, financial services, banking, halal testing lab. Now they have many certified bodies halal in Japan. They can cater all these certified bodies, and we have education and trainings about halal e-learning, and also the obvious one would be restaurants and central kitchen to cater all these tourists, not only from Malaysia but also from other Muslim tourists. Even Japanese company in Malaysia, they are adopting all these halal Malaysian standard. You can see from halal food beverages, halal ingredients, halal cosmetics, halal lifestyle, they recognize how they need to have all these certification in order for them to penetrate to other markets. Now, this is one of the interesting ways, testing how Japan is now very looking forward in how to get this demand on halal products. One of them is the Tokyo Olympic 2020, which is also Tokyo 2020 for Paralympics Games. Even for Madrid ourselves, we assigned a memorandum of cooperation between Madrid and JETRO on the 16th November 2016 in the areas of collaborating not only for bilateral trade, but also halal related matters. I think in the news you can see all this time when they talk about Japan, they're all talking about halal, they always try to relate with our Olympics, which is true. They try to make the games, they try to make themselves ready for this game when it comes to 2020. But most importantly, they are trying to see how they can make them the readiness in having all the visitors, while having all the visitors earlier coming to Japan for all the visitors, so that by the time for 2020 they have all this everything in mind, not only in terms of the food, but also the facilities provided for the Muslim. So we're talking about Tokyo Olympics. I think we should also understand there are two elements in this. One is for the Tokyo itself, the Olympic itself, and the other one for the visitors. I think for us, Malaysian company, I think also we also need to focus on the visitors that come to the Tokyo Olympic. How many there are many Muslims will be spectating Tokyo Olympics, and how we need to be already there in the market. So usually for them, they would like to see all the available Malaysian companies products are already available in Japan for Tokyo Olympics. So, and then it should not stop there. Japan is looking beyond Tokyo 2020. We believe that it will be beyond 2020, whereby all the tourists will start still to come in to experience the culture, to experience the food maybe, and also have the vacation in Japan. And that's what we wanted to tell the Malaysian company to start now for a better business opportunity in Japan. Now, for Halal, there are some challenges in Japan. As you know, for Japan, there is no authority body monitoring Halal certification in Japan. The government is not, will not interfere in any religious matter in Japan, including Halal. So, as the demand grows, it also increases the number of certified bodies in Japan too. When they see all these business opportunity, they try to come and to approach the business, give the all certified certification, and then this also creates some little bit confusion to the companies. They want to talk about halal, but why there are so many halal certified bodies now? You know, why they're giving so many different type of requirements? Should be halal is halal, you know. So that also creates some confusion towards the market itself. And then when they don't have the knowledge on halal and very low, they tend to look it into business. They don't look into which need to follow all the requirement needed, all these making sure that you need to follow in order to have them really halal. So they tend to go to the cheapest one instead. So and also the price of halal products at the market right now is expensive. Meaning they thought that's what we try to change. We need to inform the Malaysian company and also the Japanese company that halal is not Muslim food. All this while they have this idea of halal is a Muslim food. Actually halal is for everybody. Halal is for the Japanese, for other non-Muslim. They should not target themselves into only Muslim consumer. It should go beyond that. Yeah, so that and then this price is very difficult for Malaysian company for us to compete with the rest of the products in the market. So halal market entry again, we wanted for them to rethink about how they treat their product, halal product. We wanted for market itself, we wanted them to see that because we have a very good products, we want to make sure that the Japanese look at our products, we are similar with other products, you know, not only for halal only. So we need to have this latest consumer behavior in Japan to understand what they're looking at. For example, like I think personally, I would say the consumer taste, the first number one, authentic design packaging. Why I say effective design packaging? In Japan, yes, people know that Japan is a men's world, you know. All the corporates will be men's and everything. But in reality, those have the money is the ladies. Kalau kat Jepun tu, kalau you dapat salary hari ni, besok you bagi semua dekat isteri. That's Japanese. So when you talk about that, and then now with the shrinking population, Now they start to hire all these senior citizens and also the ladies to work into force, and they have more money, more to spend. So they have very particular interest and also particular demand in terms of design, how it's very cute, or for example like that. And then since I talk about this senior citizen, do you know that in Japan, the guys, the life expectancy is 81 years old.
81.
81, average. It can go higher than that, 81. And the ladies is 87 years old. When we talk about that, then it makes sense, all the products must be related to health products. Because whatever this RFTC is relates to the diet that they have. So that's very important. Yeah? And then secondly, of course, in order for us to compete, to be successful, I think it's important to have all this certification already with your product, like GMP, HACCP, ISO, and if you were to have more, then you should also have like just the Japan Agriculture Standard or GIS, or like a GMARC in Japan. And also in Japan, space is a luxury. And it goes to not only the apartments, the houses, but also to the stores. So it's very important to make the quantity, also the size in smaller packages. They like that, and also the quantity need to be have smaller. So you need to be you need to change in order for you to suit Japan market. And with all that in consideration, still price is very important. Cost competitive. In Japan, they are willing to pay a premium to products made in Japan, but not from import products. It's different from our friend from China. For them, hello? For them, for Japan, whatever they produce, they're very proud of it. They say that this is the best quality. But if for the imported ones, they start to, competing with not only for other products, but from China, the one that are able to produce a very low cost. So that we need to put into consideration. And also, as for your information, Japan now consumer tax is 8%. It will increase next year.
Just like GST?
Yeah.
Something like GST.
Something like that. Consumer tax. And it will increase to 10% next year. So before that, I believe they start to immediately they try to sell as much as they can before the new consumer tax kicking in next year. This is the entry market, as you know. Traditional market approach, you sell to manufacturers and the wholesalers, the non-traditional wholesalers, hired an agents to do it. Or you can go e-commerce. E-commerce, we have Rakuten, we have Amazon Japan, Yahoo. But this, you need to have a company that doing that in Japan. And also we can do a joint venture for that, or direct sales to retailers. So, but by giving all this, still, I think you need to sit down with your importer. I think they know best how to position your products in the market. So I would advise, if you can sit down together with your agent or your importer, and see how the best way to approach the Japanese market. For market halal trade promotion, we do a lot of promotion. Before this boom, demand about halal, we always try to go together with a Malaysian company to go to Japan. As you know, Japan is very tough market to go in, very tough. So we try so many ways to do it. But now we started to receive all these inquiries about, when we ask about how to go to Japan, then they start, are your products halal? This is the thing that we can't afford to miss. Now they start to ask back whether your products are, yes, our product is halal. I think this is the best window of opportunity for us to push into the market. This is the FoodX Japan that we had this year. It held 6 March to 9 March 2018, Makuhari Messe Japan. We bring along 25 companies together with us. Why FoodX? I think this is the best food show that available in Japan, the biggest in ASEAN Pacific show. And then this is where we wanted not only to focus to halal, but also the high quality of Malaysian products, and we want to showcase that to Japan market. Apart from this, we have other specific halal showcase. For example, like in Fairfax next month, and also we have some Expo Halal show. We work together with other ministry like Ministry of Agriculture. They also are participating, so we also support the Malaysian company to go in. So we will inform and advise the Malaysian company if they want to go to Japan. I believe I also agree with the rest of my team, saying that the participation in trade fair was very important for you to gauge feedback from the customer, why they don't like this, why you need to change the packaging. I think that's very valuable information that you need to get from the ground itself. Yeah. Apart from that, we also try to educate the Japanese companies. We want to educate them not only about halal, but also to advise them where to get it. So through us, we can inform, we have a list of companies, Malaysian companies that are producing in halal. You don't have to go and produce it yourself, or we also encourage them to collaborate with us. They have the expertise, we have the capabilities to produce, and they can get halal products. We have done it in Kobe, Osaka, and Kyoto this year. Not only that, even in Malaysia also, we have done it also. We have done the seminar to Kota Kinabalu, Kuching, Kuala Lumpur, just to inform and so to educate and so to share what the business opportunity lies in Japan. So this is Japan. Sorry, I just put the map at the last presentation. But this is Japan, and then we have 2 offices in Japan. We have one in Mate, Tokyo, and one in Mate, Osaka. Please, if you really want to go to Japan, please contact us. Maybe we can work together with you, and we'll try to see how the best way for you to approach Japan market.
Yours is in Tokyo?
Yeah, in Tokyo.
The other one is in
Osaka. So I think this is my final presentation. For that, I would like to say thank you, and thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Is it possible for us to ask question when we are still fresh starting it, instead of going back from the first one?
Please. Okay, of course. No, I'm going to open the floor so that you can ask any of them or any questions to any of the trade commissioner. But first of all, I would like to thank all the trade commissioners for, I think, a very good, comprehensive presentation. Don't you think so? Yeah. Round of applause, please, for that. Okay, and I also like to say thank you very much for you guys. There's the enthusiasm that you show, staying all the time until right now 5:30. That's almost 2 hours already.
6:30.
Sorry, 6:30. I'm using you Tokyo time. Anyway, now the time that you're waiting for, perhaps, you want to ask question. Please state your name and also your company. Then perhaps you can just shoot ask the question to any of the trade commissioners. Please, can I start? Yeah.
My name is Zuhari from Blossom View. I will address my question to our TC in Tokyo. I'm interested to penetrate net market in Japan. Can you please explain the procedure? Because I got last month we received one big buyer from Japan, but the buyer also don't know how to import, to bring into Japan for cosmetic purposes. Thank you.
Okay.
So,
Any more question before that? Any more question? Satu lagi, then we can answer straight. Yes, please. Same thing.
Yeah, I'm related to 2020 Olympic. I'm related to the...
You're competing in Olympic? No.
Okay, my name is Gifli. I'm from ZGV Venture. So I'm more interested for the Olympic 2020 punya sport lah. So I need his cooperation.
Okay, all right. Please. Oh, sorry.
For the first question, it relates to cosmetics products. From my findings in Japan, I think there are already what they call these companies that selling bird nests in Japan at the moment. But what I'm sure for those coming to Japan, they need importers that have a license to go into Japan. So for that, I think for our office, we need to see if you're really interested to go in. The procedure-wise, I don't have information with me right now, but we can see and also study how the other companies are able to sell that in Tokyo. They have a big store in Ginza. I'm not sure they get it from where, but I think this Taiwanese or Chinese companies. So, but yes, for cosmetics, they need importer, they need a special license for them to import products from overseas to Japan. Maybe later on we can see that information we can share from our office about the bird nest.
So
Second
the
question.
second question is about the whatever food product or whatever related to the Olympic, which I believe we should take the necessary advantage.
For the Olympics, I think we also work closely with the Ministry of Agriculture. Why? Because in Olympic itself, we, as I again mentioned to you, we have two elements of Olympics. One is the village itself, whereby they prepare the food for our athletes. I think for that they have special kind of diet they needed for that. And also for agriculture, we have worked together and see, and also we targeted, for example, to the villages. For example, I just wanted to share with you, for us, Madrid, and also together with MOE, we have approached all the villages in prefectures. They are trying to promote their villages, for example, to certain kind of sports. At the moment, we are targeting to badminton, for example, because we know some of the sport that we're familiar with, and they are strong, and they are promoting the badminton villages. And then we have the interaction with them on how to prepare these athletes coming to the village, with this Olympic village. Just want to share with you too, I think the understanding of halal is still low. They don't understand about it. But together with our ministry, we try to find out with them what are the menu needed so that we can see whether we can complement to that. That's one. And then because then the other one is the visitors. Because I think for the three, they cannot, we unable to sell whatever we have, products like 3-in-1 coffee, they don't do it, all these instant noodles, it's not suitable for them. But for us, I think we also want to focus the visitors of the Olympics. That we want to focus. Because at the time at the moment, they will start open bidding. And at the opening, I think they will approach those companies that already service Olympic Games, big games. So what we wanted to do is making sure all the supplier of the food already have this product with them. When the time comes for the bidding, we're already there in the market, we don't have to import direct from Malaysia, they already have it in the market. So that's what we need. So that's what we are preparing ourselves, making sure we are taking advantage to have all this. And also we approach, for Madrid itself, we approach directly to those companies that we think they will look into all this halal product from them. Because not many companies that are involved in halal right now, so we know who are the buyers. So we approach them, even for them, we are bringing them buyers to come in for our IMIHAS program. We are bringing 5 companies for this buyers program. So they are also, together with us here, searching for all these potential companies, supplying halal products. At the same time, they're also looking at all these trade shows and see what are the things that they can explore further. So that's one of the activities that we're trying to get, to making sure that we, Indonesian company, are able to get this opportunity in Olympics.
Akal, you want to say something?
Yes. In addition to the question number 1, just wanted to ask her, where is the market that currently you are exporting this product?
China.
To China.
China now Mr. Remy.
I see. I think in general, the process will be kind of similar, whereby you have to pass through certain procedures, registration. I think maybe it will be similar also to Japan, and in for Kazakhstan also something similar. You have to register, go for testing. But I think the problem in Kazakhstan might be translation, because all the
Ada market
documentation.
Kazakhstan ada market this type of products.
Yes, there are. I saw some products coming from Korea with Korean brand, but the something that which is something different. All the registration needs to be done in Russian, so translation needs to be done. All your documentation from Kuala Lumpur, from your all your license, everything needs to be translated, notarized by the notary body here, sent to Kazakhstan. Then another process. It will be take a longer process lah. Something similar to Japan, I believe so.
Okay. Last two questions. For your information, they're supposed to use this room just now at 5:30. They have moved somewhere else. I don't know where. Okay. To accommodate the long presentation. Anyway, yeah. Last two questions, please.
The final one.
Yeah, please. Okay. Yes, sir. Please.
Okay.
You first. Then.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Saya Dr. Siddiq. Okay. My question is to all the trade commissioners. Okay.
Not me, yeah. Them.
Okay then. Because we all know that Malaysia is still very infancy in R&D ke, in lab testing ke, particularly in medical. Okay, in pharmaceutical. Because you tahu kalau ubat, I can say overseas memang dia capture everything. And in fact di Malaysia pun there are foreign countries, foreign apa ni manufacturer ubat buat. Okay, so being Malaysian, okay, kita tahu, we know we got something, some product that we go back to sunnah. Rasulullah punya ingredients, for instance black pepper, batu sauda. So I constitute this ubat into my ingredients tau. I come up with a topical application, a non-organic for kata back pain, muscle and joint aches. So to all these trade commissioners of China, China, Indonesia, UAE, Kazakhstan and Japan, boleh tak I bring my product, because knowing you all are much senior in producing orang kata tu medical, non-medical devices or ubat kan, and I'm coming out with a non-organic, more on a sunnah punya concept. How? I would like to give my name back to you all.
Belum happy lagi. That's how good Malaysian exporters kan. Very aggressive, very good. Right. Tapi tak boleh buat lagi ya orang lain. Okay. So can I have your question? Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah, I just want to ask China. Okay, I'm Sharon. I think I'm loud enough. I'm Sharon from London Beauty and Doctor. I went to China before for the EAM and all that. So because some agent told me they don't need GMP don't need HACCP Some they say they need. So in fact, exactly, is it different port or different entry they need, different they don't need?
Okay.
In China and China.
All right. Please, the first question about the Sunnah products. Yeah, whether they have markets. You know, this I think is a new segment or a very unique product. You know, currently, and it's expanding. So perhaps you want to comment on that? Any of you?
All right. Maybe let me take up the question from Dr. Siddiq. Yes, you have a very good product. Has a lot of potential. Because talking about halal products, definitely health products is one of the potential products whereby it is a growing sector. But if you want to bring this kind of product into Indonesia, for example, definitely there is a specific regulation that you have to fulfill. I believe it is the same for other markets. Because there is a medical element or health element or contents in your products. So normally health authorities would require some kind of clinical studies on your product ingredients. And then it should be established clinical studies. You know? Let's say you are using herbal products or maybe vegetable type of products that you include these contents or ingredients into your products to make finished products. Then the health authorities will require you to provide the clinical studies. And then because they are concerned about this kind of products, because there is a medical association to this kind of products. And then there is health values that maybe you may claim that this product may have so and so values. So they have more stringent requirements that you have to fulfill. I mean, compared with other types of products, for example, cosmetics or even food and or ordinary food and beverage products. So I know that Malaysian companies, when they produce this kind of products, basically they may produce food products, but they include ingredients or health ingredients into their food products. So when they change their food products by including health value ingredients, for example, or health or medical value with medical value of products into the finished products, then it is subject to health requirements. So it will be more stringent. And then in the context of Indonesia, so it will take a longer time for you to register your product before you are able to bring in your products into Indonesia. Let me give you an example. Let's say for ordinary food and beverage products, it may take you 3 to 6 months to register your product. But for your kind of product, it may take up to the minimum time that you may take can be 9 months. It can be more than that, up to 18 to 24 months. So it takes longer time. Yeah.
You were saying I need to go for the clinical studies, isn't it?
Yeah, you need to support your
Okay,
product.
so let's say if I go for any metal hazardous testing, okay, all those anaerobic and anaerobic microorganism testing, then meaning called clinical testing on guinea pigs.
Yeah, because you have medical values in your products, right?
Okay.
So before you
In fact, mine bukan not. We didn't claim that it is for treatment, okay, but then it complements medical. You know.
understandable, Dr. Sidi, understandable. So health supplements definitely is subject to health regulation, and then it would be more stringent than ordinary food and beverage products. So yes, if you go for different testing, like hazardous metal or chemicals, normally this would be applicable on your products too, because maybe you include some edible chemical ingredients. But I shared with you, maybe you include herbal products or herbal contents, vegetable based products. But if you include chemicals, then you are subject to that kind of testing.
I see.
All right.
Yeah, I like to concur with that, because I think this will depend on the claims that you make, whether this is whatever lah. Kalau you janji kata untuk jadi ubat kuat, kalau dia tak kuat, then apa dia lah kan? Atau dia pura-pura kuat, kan? So I don't know. Kazakhstan nak tunjuk gambar lagi sekali? Nah, tak. Alright. Wait. Okay. Then another one. I think I just want to add. You know, like for example, why is this? What is the drivers for this growth of halal market? One of them is because of the sekarang ni orang they are very conscious about Islamic, I mean values, lifestyle. Orang Islam dah mula makin, you know, kalau kita cakap more pious, more they are more rigid, they are more. So those are actually a point ataupun satu dimension that we should look at, because these are actually driving the growth of this market. So I would say kalau lah kata makanan sunnah, for example, so because of these changes in the market dynamics, then perhaps, you know, these are the timing, perhaps you want to look at this market seriously, expand it. But of course there are challenges like what kita TC cakap tadi, you know, Saudara Naim cakap tadi. Okay, the last question just now, yeah, okay, please.
Before that, boss, I would like also to give some comment on Dr. Siddiq. In China, if it's medicine, big no-no. Means that we can't import medicine from overseas. In China, 100% generic medicines. Alright, you have to partner with the Sino farm, Sino okay, to produce in China. Then only you can sell it in the local market. But if it's for supplement, you know, health products, yeah, yes, can. But again, the regulations, the rules is really strict. Okay, because once you make comment, of course, like mentioned earlier by Pak Naim, there will be they need clinical tests, and the worst part in China, you have to be in China. You cannot do it in Malaysia, and then you use the report back to China. Alright, they will not accept that. And in China, yes, it can be done, but be prepared with deep pocket. Alright, 2 million RMB at least minimum. Sub-sui. Alright, we are talking about 2 million RMB for one product, one SKU. Okay, which is not cheap. So, my suggestion is that consider e-commerce, a cross-border e-commerce method to penetrate into China market. Alright, because then, you know, we can what we need to do, like maybe we just promote, you know, the effect or the benefits from your health supplements, and then, you know, that is the most important thing to make known into the market. And then we have the Tabao partners, and we have a few Tabao partners based in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, that can help you to do this cross-border e-commerce market into China. So that is the immediate and I would say the best way to go forward. And for Madam, okay, yes, indeed it is true. HACCP, GMP, which actually it is not that really important for the CIQ or China Custom, right? But most important is the CIQ test. You have your product must register, must pass the registration process with the CIQ. CIQ is China Inspection Quarantine. All right, so this is the authority. So, and the tricky part is that you have to pay your custom first. After you pay your 17% VAT, okay, upon importation, because import from Malaysia is zero duty under China ASEAN FTA, then only you will go through the CIQ test. If your CIQ test burn, right? So it takes time for you to claim back the 70% tax, and you have to send back your goods back to Malaysia to claim back, or you have to destroy your products at the port. So be careful on that. So my suggestion is that first get your product approved or pre-approved before it land in Guangzhou or Shanghai or Tianjin at the port of arrival port.
Okay.
Can I ask one last question? This is general question, but all can answer lah.
Okay.
The question is like this. We talk about halal market. Can I say I got so many products, all halal, according to Jakir. HACCP approved, everything approved lah. When I go to China, do I go to Japan, or do I go all the other countries? Do I have to change, go back to, let's say Japan? Do I have to follow halal there? Do I have to follow that standard? Or can I use all this and say, okay, done. Whatever you want is all there. It's international.
Okay.
Europe okay, America okay, all the world okay. But when I go to China, do I have to change? Do I have to follow you?
Okay.
You follow or not?
Ravi, do you want to take that question?
Okay.
Okay.
I think with regard to I would say UAE perspective, our halal certification is I would say accepted in the region. Yeah, there is no need for you to have other certification. I believe, but Indonesia perhaps you need to have more
That one next
certification.
year, right? Or
Pardon?
now? No, no,
Okay, let him answer first.
Yeah. So that is.
I think I better sit down. Yeah?
Okay.
So
One last question, right?
that basically the thing, and again the other rather than when you go beyond halal, the other certification has everything. It depends on the product, because at the end of the day, the type every authority, they have their own I would say category of products that require, beyond than halal, beyond than the normal health
Let's
certificate.
say yours UAE.
Yeah.
UAE.
Yeah, but you have to let
That's
me know.
additional question now.
But I need to know what kind of products.
Oh, I see.
That's the thing, because they know sometimes they only request you to have CFS, certificate of free sale. Sometimes they ask you for health certificate. Yeah, halal, actually when you talk about food, everything, there is that requirement for you. If, for example, in the case of UAE, Dubai, they will check your ingredient. For example, if there is any animal origin content, then the halal certificate came into picture. Because in Dubai, actually, the thing is that they control at the border. Yeah, not like here in Malaysia, any product can come in, but once you want to I would say claim it as halal, then to the public, then you start you need to produce that halal certification. But on the part of the region, I would say Dubai and the rest of the GCC countries, the product is controlled at the border. So the product that's coming in, once it's approved, actually considered halal already. That is why halal, when you go to Dubai or the UAE, certain product, they don't have even halal logo. Halal logo only mandatory if actually for the meat-based products. Yeah, other products you don't see halal, because of the reason we know halal logo, because of they already control at the border. Yeah, that's in the perspective of UAE and this I would say this is
What about Japan?
Okay, you want to say something?
Or maybe, I don't know, Japan.
Okay.
Japan first.
Okay.
Okay, if you want to use the same product presentation that you have for Malaysia and in other markets, then you want to use the same product presentation for Indonesia, you could not. You could not. As I said in my presentation, because product labeling requirement is overseen by the Indonesian FDA, not by the Halal certification body. Halal certification body can be MUI, or can be the new body I mentioned in my presentation. They call it BPJPH, Badan Penyelenggara Jaminan Produk Halal. Okay, BPJPH looks after halal certification, and then through MUI, they do halal certification, then they issue MUI halal logo. Okay, MUI and JAKIM, or BPJPH and JAKIM, has mutual understanding. So you carry your products using JAKIM halal logo, then you want the same product presentation or product labeling using JAKIM halal logo to be available in Indonesia. That's not possible for Indonesia.
It's the other way around. When Indonesia export to Malaysia, JAKIM recognize MUI or whatever Indonesian halal product, I say, oh, okay, come in.
Hang on. This is not about halal certification. This is about halal labeling. Okay? So there are two elements. Halal certification is one. So Malaysia and Indonesia recognize each other's halal certification. But Indonesia doesn't recognize halal labeling or halal label, because halal label is overseen or is regulated by the Indonesian FDA. Okay, so there are two authorities involved. I put in my slide, there are two authorities involved. One is MUI or BPJPH, and then another one is BPOM, Badan Pengawas Obat and Makanan. So BPOM is the one maybe can you show the slide again? Jadi senang untuk ni.
Okay, macam ni.
Okay. No, I think-
But Cik faham eh? For Indonesia cannot. You if you want to carry the same packaging,
Can we go to
cannot.
China and Japan? Just go
Tapi
to
ada rasa kan?
Just simple.
Kalau nak
Ni kena 3 hari lagi.
let's say I want to go all our countries. Nak pergi e-commerce lah. Boleh tak?
No, Dubai tak boleh.
Oh, di mana tak boleh?
You need local representation.
Okay guys, macam ni.
Same
Right?
with Japan.
So tak gini, cerita ni gini simple. So if I want to
Okay,
China,
macam ni. Okay.
If I want to go to
They
China,
they have indicated that masa dekat nak habis.
Okay.
Asar dekat nak habis dia kata.
Okay, kata ni kata if I want to go to China, so can I see you? Okay. Can I see my trade in
Yes.
Malaysia? So we make arrangement. I got all the product, give it to you. Okay or not? Right, is it okay? And then if I go to Japan, I do the same thing. Is it okay? Is it doing works?
For China, simple.
For my trade lah.
For in China, halal in China, because the good news is that there is no national halal standard.
Okay, but HACCP,
Nah,
all this thing lah.
I mean HACCP and whatnot, okay, to be frank, in China, because they don't really care. Because of the most important is CIQ, China Inspection Quality. You pass the CIQ, your product goes in. Even USFDA also, they don't care. But the thing is that, your point earlier is that, you're talking about halal certificate or halal standard. Good news in China, there is no national halal standard.
So okay lah.
So then they accept. They accept any halal
As long as you
standard.
pass the CIQ, then everything done.
Yes, as long as you pass CIQ,
China,
done.
that way lah. So what about Japan?
Finally. And I think I take it as your question.
No, I do mind.
Get related this, I take it as halal recognition. Talking about halal recognition, right? On top of whatever requirement done, I think you pass. I assume that you pass everything required by Japan authority.
Oh, I have to pass Japan, not Malaysia. Standard HACCP.
No. What I'm trying to say, for halal recognition, in Japan, they don't have any authority on halal. If you have halal jakim, they recognize halal jakim. No problem.
Okay. Boleh? Boleh? Yeah. I think there's some confusion kat situ. I think after this you come and see us. Yeah. I think is a very rudimentary understanding that I think we can be sorted out.
Yes.
Okay? Right. Boleh?
Boleh.
Right. For your information, the Trade Commissioner is going to be here. Besok ada lagi Besok ada lagi. But tomorrow afternoon, I think we are trying to organize a meeting with Economic Planning Unit. So pagi tu you'll be here, right?
Yep.
Right. So kalau you want to meet any of them for the discussion or not, just go to Matrid booth and they will try to sort dekat mana dia orang. Then they will call. Matrid booth kat sini. Kan? Jangan pergi Matrid building. Tingkat 3 masuk-masuk je Matrid. Kan? Okay, so they will still be here. You can have some discussion with them. After this pun, kalau apa ni dia orang tak letih lagi, dia orang apa ni, you can see them and then exchange card. Then you can have some more apa tu. So I'm sorry, I bukannya tak kasih, tapi I think we have stretched this.